how about those Eagles? I would have never thought that they would have came from 6-7 and then just like win the division. I mean, I would think that they would have been a little nervous with all this clicking the link below talk. But when you're part of the deception and you get paid millions and gazillions of dollars to, go along with the program, then you're not really worried about that action scene on the sidelines. It's going to be an amazing scene because you're going to have like 7,000 bodies just all over the place. There's going to be all kinds of blood packages on them, and it's going to look like a movie scene. I'm sure somebody's going to say, it looked like a movie scene. I heard this explosion, and then I looked over, and there was smoke. There was smoke. I seen some mirrors. There was a lot of smoke, and then all of a sudden, everybody laid down, and they pushed their blood pack. You know how they do in Hollywood movies. They pushed their blood pack, and then they exploded with blood, and then I seen them all crying and dying. And there's limbs everywhere, because you're going to see limbs. People at the games. I mean, people at the Lincoln Financial Field or the Super Bowl. It's either one or the other. The Eagles are going to be in it. But Philadelphia is going to be that team. It's like the curse team. Whichever team is the curse, which is called the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to be the team that gets, the bad luck's going to follow them. I mean, the best time for them to play that movie scene is definitely in a playoff game, because not everybody can get tickets. It's in a regular season, regular people get tickets. The postseason, it's mainly the reason why it's mainly the famous people and the people with a lot of money and not just regular people is because it's a playoff game. It's more important. A regular season game is not that important, but everybody starts jumping on the bandwagon, is what I'm saying, when it's postseason. So you're going to have, like, I can only imagine how many Philadelphia, they're going to show all these Philadelphia stars. Will Smith will be there. They'll show him up at the, up in the suite. Mark Wahlberg will be there. Who else? Michael Jackson will be there. I hope he looks like himself. You won't recognize him because he looks the way he did before he added the makeup to his face and changed his look. That way, when he pretended to be dead, he could just walk around the way he always was. Same with Greta Greatberg or something, whatever his name is. He is walking around acting as if he is a girl, but Steve is trying to tell you that he is a she, and then she is going to turn into a he. No, he is a she, and she is playing this role until she is done, and then she will turn back into a he and just live his life. I don't know if Elvis is going to be there. I think he finally really did die. I think JFK might have really died already. Man, here's the thing. This is why I have to say this before it happens. All the other shootings that are that's a farce. When I say that it's fake and nobody died, it's like this. There's a couple people that I cannot wait to finally get their attention. It's not that they're bad people at all. It's just I need to get their attention so they can stop being led astray with these events thinking they're real. My stepson is top candidate for the person that I need to get him to believe the truth. Because when we were in that movie theater, Steve, you remember that incident, right? That was funny. The lady pretended that she was dying. I am insensitive because I seen it coming. My wife seen it. We seen the odd couple. It just looked odd. They were an odd couple. They were. And then we just sensed it, and then there was some guy sitting behind us who was literally eating his popcorn, watching the movie that you guys put in front of us with the lady making sex noises. Like, yeah, that's normal sounds in a movie theater. Because my stepson and his girlfriend were there, and then I did the recording. I recorded it, and man, he was mad because he thought I was just being rude, making fun of him. Well, little did he know that it's a thing called gang stalking. It's a corporation. They follow you around. They create scenes in front of you. They do things very obvious, overtly to you, and very nonchalant and hidden and covert to the people that are around you that are spiritually sleeping. Because what happened is, it's like, let's say, well, not let's say, but when that explosion happens at the Lincoln Financial Field it's either or. It's either there or it's the Hard Rock Super Bowl on 2/2/2020. And then from that point on, you got 21 days until Carefree Highway. But before that, you have 2 weeks off, right? Because when the Ravens and the Eagles make the Super Bowl, 2 weeks prior to that, the second, I don't know what date it is. Well, let's see, 14 days. 16, 17. Is that the 17th of January? The 17th or the 18th? But there's a 2 week period where you're off because there's the Pro Bowl and then there's the Super Bowl, and it's 3 weeks before that, which is the beginning of, well, as of today's the 30th, December 30th. There's only one more day left in the year. Wednesday is New Year's Day. Next week is 1 week. Following week is 2 weeks. The week after that is 3 weeks from this weekend. And you'll hear that if the explosion doesn't happen at the Eagles game, you'll hear that the Eagles and the Ravens have won their division. Or they're going to the Super Bowl. You know, because inside of that Pet Goat 2 video, I seen a raven there, that little weirdo dancing around. He also had a Seahawks mask on, color, letting you know, like, you know, the Seahawks are going to play the Eagles. And I'm just telling you how they work. That's why this game was a guaranteed. Yesterday's game, I didn't even watch it, but it was a guaranteed lock that the Eagles were going to win. Because of the Pet Goat 2 football stadium blowing up. Look, they're going to do it. I figured this out. At one point, I'm thinking, man, there's no way they're going to do it. It's so damn obvious. How can they do something that's so obvious? Well, according to the Kleckite mentality, they don't care that you know. They actually want you to know. They want you to know, and then they want you to know that they're going to come round you up. And then they also want you to believe that they're just going to have their way with you, you know, as like a whore or something. Because that's how they think. There's a lot of sick twisted perversion that's going on with having sex with the virgins, the 144, acting as if he's talking about Eve, like a woman coming down and having sex with virgins or whatever. But he's just talking about himself. And think about it. When you have a perverted Jesus, what do you think they mean by the coming of Jesus Christ? Yeah. The brightness of his coming. I'm just saying, it's sickening, and it's just sickening. The whole thing. It all is going to end, but they're gonna do this event regardless. If I knew it or not, it doesn't matter. Because when you don't believe in God, like the only God, the one that created everybody, the one that told us to pray in private, and when you're praying at the same time with your faith, your works is what you do because of your faith. So when you pray for something, you can make it aware to yourself that that's what you want to do. Make it aware to God, your creation, that that's what you want to do. And then take it upon yourself to go and do the work to make it happen. Not a lazy prayer sitting there waiting for God to answer your prayer. Don't you know he's been waiting for you to freaking answer your own prayers? So they don't care. They truly, thoroughly appreciate the fact that you know what they are doing, and they are going to continue to do it. And then, because they have a set date. There's a set specific date that they're going to turn their face back against the fort of their own land. And that's when the perversion, that's when Sodom and Gomorrah is in full effect. That's the beginning of it. So it's at the end of the movie. It's at the end of the 21-day period. It's either the first 21-day period. No, it's the last 21 days. It's at the very end of everything. The last end of everything. The darkness, whether it's 3 literal days or it's 3 days of like whether it's literal and they finally decide to park the sun for 3 days, or it's a internet 3 days of darkness, or it's an EMP 3 days of darkness, or it's a truth shutdown 3 days of darkness. It's 4 different ways they can play this darkness out. They're going to play out truth shutting down, the EMP, well, the truth shutting down, the internet, the EMP, and then the sun. Because the sun is like the last, that everything is already fell apart in front of your face on TV and out in the world. They're obvious because, well, I don't know how anybody can't see it now. How can you not see it? I've seen it by studying and watching, just paying attention to all their little codes. Like certain games of the season, the first Dallas game was dead on, knowing that they were going to lose. Dallas was going to destroy them because they came to Texas. But then the next game, I knew the Eagles were going to win that game because of it. It has nothing to do with seeing the future or any information of whatsoever besides week to week. This is how they're playing out their week. I don't know why they're doing it that way. You can just sense that they are. And then when they beat Dallas, they had to beat Dallas in order to, because if they didn't, they would have lost right then and there. No explosion on the sidelines, nothing. I That guy always just yells out loud at nobody. Unless every time I drive by, he's yelling at me. Or he just likes talking out loud. Some people like doing it. They just yell out loud. It's kind of like Tourette's in a way. It's just a demon. Tourette's is a demon. It's something that you just allow to happen, you know. And Kleck fakes his. Oh my God! Did you see that? My whole body just quivered. You can't even pretend that. Nobody's an actor, right, Kleck? So anyway, this game, this explosion. I don't feel like waiting until the damn Super Bowl. I just don't, man. So when it does happen, and I said it beforehand, and I have proof that I said it, and I'm telling you it's fake. You know, at least this time around, to those people like my stepson, even like my son himself, because he doesn't believe these things I'm saying, but I mean he doesn't look at me like I'm. He knows how to hide his emotions. He's good at that. But there's a group of people that once that major second 9/11 happens here in Philadelphia, and I'm telling you it's fake. I mean not fake, but it's set up, it's predetermined, it's planned. When a bunch of numbers match up with the amount of people that died, or on a specific day, specific date, or a specific time, and a specific location, and the event that took place, how it took place, like what was used, whether it was stars falling from heaven, or a missile coming from heaven, or a holographic image coming from heaven, which it will be, but a bomb set up and explosions, but mainly smoke, and then twisting metal, and then a bunch of people laying on the ground with blood on them. All those things happening. When you finally see that, and it was foretold beforehand, just because of, again, I don't see the future. I'm just making predictions. I'm just guessing. When my guesses finally line up correctly, I mean, look, this one lined up. I said there would be an explosion on the sidelines with the Eagles game playing Dallas, and if there isn't an explosion, the Eagles are going to win, and then they're definitely going to win the next game, which is the Giants, because they got to come back home again to the link in order to fulfill the Petco 2 second 9/11. Click the link below. The Lincoln Financial Field is called The Link. The Link. Click. What do you do when you click something? Well, it's like when they click the link below and it finally is blown up, your brain is going to click like, oh, that is the truth. I see. Okay, so then Robin was right. He was right about this one. All right, well, I got to give it to you, Robin, you know? And then I'll be like, well, it's fine. I didn't expect you to give it to me anyway. I understand nobody's supposed to believe it. Nobody's supposed to see it. When they see it, you know, everybody's gonna flee when they see this great vision, because it's gonna be an earthquake, because the earth, which is us, the people, the quaking, is going to be an awakening. So the earth quakes. 7,000 men get slain on that day because 7,000 actors played dead on that day at the link. But 7,000 men really will get slain by the word of God, because it's a perfect, complete fulfillment. The amount of people that needed to see this and finally turn and say, yep, okay, I'm on board I'm on your boat, Robin. I'm on board now. It's probably most likely a bunch of evil, angry a-holes who are going to turn from a Luciferian 100% to a Christoperian. And there's going to be a bunch of hypocrite-ass Christians that are going to go from a hypocrite-ass Christian to a Christoperian on that day. Because I'm going to take this group of people and convert them into both. And I'm going to take this group of people and convert them into both, because this group is one side, one-minded, one side of your brain you're thinking. The other side is one side because you're just a pissed off individual and you hate me. You hate me because I have enough balls to keep getting up on YouTube and say whatever, and whatever it is that people say, it doesn't affect what's going to come out of my mouth. If anything, a little bit more wrath comes out than anything else when it happens that way. But in the end, just understand what my goal is. My goal is to get people to believe the truth. Here's the truth. Your boss doesn't give a shit about you at all. Forceful God that he worships. And you don't have to worship that God anymore, the God of forces. I'm going to give you free will. You're going to choose to convert yourself to a Christoperian. Same thing with you hypocrite Christians. You don't like the word Safarian, do you? Do you like the word How about loser? They don't like that word because it's scary. Just like my tag on my beast stang. My beast stang, it's GSS 9666. And it's been on that car since 2005, I think? No, 6. Sorry, I got you up to 7. Since 2007. So for 12, almost 13 years, it's had that tag number because it was transferred over from my kid's mom, who has 3 6s in a row in her social security number, but 4 of them all together. And then, so when they gave me that tag, it's like, you know, God's social security number. It's 9. There's 9. There's 2. There's the son that worships. Well, both sons worship their creator. One son is the son of the day. Another son is the son of the night. It's like the light and dark David, King David. There's 2. One of them represents the more Christ-like. The other one represents the more Luciferian-like. But at the same time, their goal, that those 2 spirits that are in the world that's rising up inside of people, it's called Christians and Luciferians as Christoperians, working together, getting the same purpose, which is to get people to turn back to God. That's the purpose of both of those sons. And then there's 7 angels. So there's 9 altogether. There's 9 people. There's 9 spirits. And I don't understand why. What is it? Why is Satan's number supposed to be 666? Why is it such a scary number? He who has wisdom count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Beast what? Who? Where? Who's a beast? Christ is a beast. The Lion of the tribe of Judah is a beast. The Lamb of God, is a beast. The roaming lion, that's a beast too. It's the number of man, 666. So whatever, the license plate never scared me. I actually thought it was pretty cool that it's God's social security number, 9666. Just waiting it out. But in the meantime, from this point on, I'm going to put the beast back together. I mean, the one thing I was concerned about is the fuel problem. I don't like messing with fuel filters, fuel injections, electrical components when it comes to vehicles, because it can be anything. There's like a million different things. It could be one simple little wire that you didn't see that fell off and it won't start, and who knows. So, but that was the main thing, getting that car, getting the heart of the car to run solid again. All the other little leaks and tweaks and the little things that are wrong with it, that can all be fixed easily. The main thing is the heart. Get that thing pounding again and get it running. That way you can drive it and it doesn't conk out, it's not bogging down. So that was the main thing with that car. It's up and running now. So I'm just going to keep working on that. The time that I have, I got to get it to my house, get it to my garage where it needs to be, where it's safe, and then I'll be good. So I'm kind of changing from this year, the new year, because I know what's going to happen. They lull you to sleep. Everybody, all the man, Steve Fletcher, you should freaking be ashamed of yourself. You're so condescending and fake and oh my God! Oh, good morning, people. This is Steve Fletcher. A puppet for my people. I found this great information I have to share with you today. We are going home. Oh my God, I can't believe I found this information. We between today and tomorrow, we're going to go home. It's the great escape. Oh my goodness, we're going home. Yeah, it's the escape, all right. Hey, you dumbasses, you think you're going to escape? Didn't the Bible say that none are going to escape? No, not one. All you fucking liars, man. God. I'm not sorry, God, for cursing. No, I'm not. I'm not going to say I'm sorry, God. Not this time. You know why? Because I meant to. I meant to. You know, it's funny. My wife says that a lot. Like, I'm sorry. And I said, who's telling you to apologize? And well, I just thought that. Who's telling you to apologize? All right, stop. Enough. I hate when you do that. I know, Satan. I know you do. I know you hate when I talk through my wife to you. I know you hate that so much. So does all the other people that can't stand when I can see straight through them and talk straight to Lucifer. This, you know, the negative side of Lucifer, the one that it offers you everything and anything. Look, if you take it, it's on you. All right. And then when you do things that, when you have like habits that, you know, there's something that happens to me all the time, and only I know it happens to me when I'm thinking of certain things, and like yesterday. Here's an instance. Ben Noon, right? He was saying like, okay, and then all right, and then so, and I know that a lot of these words are extra words that you don't actually have to say, but you feel like you do. So, let's see. Okay, so Kleck's his favorite one is, so, okay, so, well, let's see. I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of saying so and but why do you have to say those extra words? As I'm saying it in my head, all these extra words, because it was the third time that Ben Noon said something, and then out of his mouth was a sentence of extra words in the Bible. I'm like, this is what Kleck makes up. This is what he tells you. You can't think this stuff up. And these things happen all the time. because they're extra words. Just like hand movements, like whatever you do that is, when you do it, it shows why you're doing it. My wife says this thing like, you know what I mean? You remember? When she talks about something, remember? And I say, what if I don't remember? Do I have to answer you? Because you'll look at me like, remember? And what I started to do was I started to not say anything. Like, you remember? And then I thought, do I have to remember? Why do you make me feel like I have to answer you? Do I have to remember it? I was sorry. Who told you to apologize? Oh man, it's hard to talk to anybody who has a habit of something that is unnecessary. It's not evil. It's not right or wrong. It's just, it sounds less intelligent. So why do you do it? Why just stop doing it? Especially when it's brought to your attention. So then, here's the one thing about reading people's minds and hand gestures and the way their words come out. We're walking in the park, and she said something like, you know, and then, you know what I mean? And then, so, because she caught that she said, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And then, but then she stressed the next word to like kind of divert the attention away from the fact that she just caught herself in the habit, and then stress the next word to bring attention to the next word. I said, wait, honey, wait. I said, you just remembered that you said, you know what I mean, didn't you? She's like, yeah. And then you stressed the next word because you were diverting attention from the fact that you said that, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, man, see, I told you I can read your mind. I was just going to say because, which is a substitute for the word so, because so, and, yeah, okay, so, okay, let's see, let's eat, I don't remember my lines, can't remember my lines. Unnecessary words, extra words. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Remember? Why? Do you talk to people that makes you feel like you have to answer them every time that they're done speaking their sentence? Well, do you?